Hello everyone. Just a few words before we dive in this subject of posing. The way I built this podcast is to bring food for thoughts. This podcast is based on my own reflections, on my own contemplation. It's not about trying to teach you anything, it's about more to bring on the table subjects that us leaders we need, we want, we desire to dive in. To stretch the way we think about those different subjects, the way we relate to them, the way those subjects resonate within us, is really to bring reflections. It's my truth at the time I'm speaking about it. It doesn't mean that you have to believe or to be convinced about what I'm saying. It's really to open space where you can journal, reflect, think, contemplate, agree, disagree, and try to find your own truth. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. That it can open something and your own truth can come in. That's really the reason behind the way I built this podcast. And today we are going to speak about posing. It's not necessarily an easy word. First of all, posing is not only, during vacation time, over the weekend or night. Of course, this is always good to have a good night's sleep, to have a nice vacation, especially when it's summertime, like right now, or to have a pause during the weekend where you can just stop doing and be more in the being or in the reflection, or not even. It can be just in the stillness. Because posing is usually going to bring, not always, but it's going to bring silence. And silence is very powerful actually. Few of us like that. Sometimes we are in a conversation with people, with your team, with family, with your co-workers, and you can feel that there is no pause, people speak. And like when you are in a negotiation or you're like in an interview or when you are doing an appraisal, some people don't like silence and they are going to feed the silence because there is uncomfort behind sometimes silence. For me, I was very much in touch with silence since I was young because for me, noise was and still is excruciating for my field, for who I am. Too much noise, too much a crowd of people, when there is rooms full of noise, when the music is too loud, when meetings are too filled with too much conversations non-stop. I'm not speaking about brainstorming because that's something else, but really for me noise was very, and as I said, it still is very difficult. It's a pain for my ears, but not only for my ears, but for my field. So earlier on, when I was younger and still now, I like the silence. It doesn't matter if we don't speak. And at the same time, I'm doing a podcast where I speak. So probably that's the paradox within me, which I love paradoxes. And I'm very much attuned to those paradoxes. So at the same time, I like silence. I like, to hear nothing. The pure silence where there is no noise, where you can feel that you are alone, almost alone in the world. Lately, it happened to me, and there was this new level of silence where there was few noise. The window was open and I couldn't hear anything. No car, no children, nobody. no honks on the street, nothing. And it felt good. It felt good because it brought peace within me. I could feel that my ear was attuning to this. A little bit surprised, I want to say, but feeling good. So that's the way I want to bring up the subject of pausing. Pausing for me is the silence in between two actions, two words, two notes of music. In between two days, that there is the night in between. I know nowadays nights are not always peaceful and quiet and silent, but I guess you know what I'm trying to say. So this pause, even in yoga, like I did an episode on yoga where I was speaking about pausing in the pose. It's because something is happening in this pose. And why did I want to bring that today? I've been pausing lately. I feel that this pause is bringing something new. And it can be scary sometimes because I don't know what this new is going to be, but I don't need to know at the same time. But I just know that I am in this silence between two actions, two notes. And if I try to rush within this silence, within this pause, then I'm going to bring noise too early, too fast. And it means that whatever this pause, this silence was trying to birth, it won't be able to do it. So the stillness within the pause can be uncomfortable, but the more I attune to this stillness and to this void, the faster I will get to the intelligence behind this void. I will be able to go faster to the next phase of what was birthing during the pause. And again, I'm saying it's not easy. So I had a couple of those pauses in my life, in my career. I think the first one didn't go so well. I remember it was difficult. I was angry. I was trying to push. I was trying to do more. I was trying to see where I was not up to speed. And then I remember when I started to surrender to the silence, then something came up, like almost right away. I didn't know that at that time. I'm telling you that today. And then there was another one in my career where there was a pause. And this time I took it a little bit with a different attitude toward it, not completely fully understanding and willing to surrender myself within the void and within this stillness. So it could only happen when, I remember again, when I fell on my bed and I said, okay, I don't know anymore. And it took like maybe 15 minutes, the phone rang. And it started, the next path, the next journey on my career. Last time it happened, it was when I decided to switch from my corporate positions to the entrepreneur's journey. And the same thing happened. So now I know. It doesn't mean it's easy. So right now I am in this pose. Doesn't mean I'm doing nothing. That's not true. I am in this pose between two notes. I try to honor the best I can this pose. And I check myself sometimes, often daily. Am I still really in the pose or am I procrastinating? And that's very important. And then I hear the noise, the silence, the message. the signals. And if I feel like it's time, I move. And I know what to do. And then, something is happening in the field and somebody's calling you, somebody is offering you something, somebody is asking for something, or these new ideas is pop-ups. Something is happening because I gave time for the stillness, for the void. I was present in this void. So pausing is like trusting in the field, telling you, okay, I'm birthing something. Can you hold it until it's time for the new steps, the new innovation to come up, the new ideas. But if I interrupt that, then it's like opening the oven where the souffle is trying to be cooked. So then the souffle is half good and I have to start again over. Sometimes we feel that we lost our power in the silence, in the stillness. So we resist them because we don't like to lose our power. But what if the true power was to be able to hold ourselves, to stretch ourselves in being still, in the silence, and honoring the pause. And that's how we are going to collapse the time. So this what I'm going through right now. I can feel it. It happens. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time. But what I want to say is like when the pause is longer, is because behind what is happening is bigger. So your field, your energy, your cells needs to get ready, needs to attune to this new signal. I'm going to let you contemplate for your own path. Where did you resist the silence, the pause? Where did you feel that you were losing your power? Where did you trust in your field? And where did you see something birthing after those pauses? Happy contemplation.